and welcome. So today I am going to do one last dish for the Shokugeki no Soma anime, and it is also my favorite. It's the steak rice bowl that Soma used in a competition against Mikumi, and it is so delicious. But the painful part is you have to cut up a ton of onions for it, and I already did that beforehand just so I don't mess up the makeup that took me a million years to do. So I'm not very good with makeup. So yeah, let's get started. First thing, take your steak and make shallow cuts on both sides. Then flip your knife around and we are going to use the back of the knife to pound the steak. After you have taken care of the steak, go ahead and put your onions onto a flat plate and then cover the steak completely in the onions. And let it sit for around 30 minutes. After the half an hour is up, try and scrape off all of the onions as much as possible, just so when we cook the steak, the onions don't get burnt and black. Afterwards, go ahead and season with some salt and pepper at this point. As you can see here, I have divided the butter into two portions, 1 tablespoon each. Then cook the onions in the butter until they turn a nice golden color. Next, put in your second half of the butter and cook your steak however you like it. And I prefer my meat on the rare side when it's still red in the center. Once you're finished cooking the steak, be sure not to wash your frying pan because we are going to pour red wine in it right afterwards. Next, put the onions back into the frying pan with the red wine. Add the soy sauce. And finally, the starch to thicken up the sauce. And that is it for the topping. For a complete recreation of the original dish, you can't forget the pickled plum paste. And if you are not able to find pre-made ones, you can always make your own. And here's what they look like. And you soak them in the water first for approximately an hour. Then boil them until they have turned all soft and remove the core. Then chop up the plums really finely, and if you're a perfectionist, you can run it through a sieve to make it really fine. And this is what it looks like after you run it through a sieve. Then depending on how much paste you have, add honey and mirin at a 1:1 ratio. And there you have it, your very own homemade plum paste. Over here, I have cut up the steak into bite-sized pieces just so it's easier to eat. And then pour half of your onions on top and finally sprinkle with some spring onions, and we are finished. Alright, finally, I'm going to eat this now. I love this dish, it is so good. And I don't know why in the anime it's like a golden color. There's no way it can be like that if you decide to put red wine in there. Unless you decide to put white wine, which will probably turn out a lot prettier, but I don't mind this color. And this dish is probably my favorite out of all the first season dishes. It is that good. And in addition, the plum paste sauce that you mixed in with the rice just makes it a lot better because it's like sour, salty and sweet all at the same time, and it's so good. So yeah, I hope you guys do try it out, and I will see you guys next time.